Hello, it is my pleasure to introduce you to Kelly Edwards, the Interim Executive Director of Room One in TWISP. I believe that Room One's work extends a sense of belonging to everyone in the Methow Valley by connecting individuals and families to essential services, advocating for all segments of our community, and empowering historically underpowered voices. Room One makes the Valley a better place to live. Kelly, could you tell me a little bit more about your mission at Room One?
Absolutely. And Kylie, I love that you emphasize belonging in your intro. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Because our mission is that we're working towards a rural valley where everyone can thrive. And that part of like really thriving is a really essential part of the mission, because we know a lot of the direct services we provide do go towards just straight up survival, whether it's about safety or yeah, just security and
Yeah.
mental health issues, or being able to feed your kids, for the week. There is a lot of survival that happens with our direct services, but
Yeah.
we also think about access to recreation and access to the arts and just different things. And a lot of our prevention, we also do prevention programming, really focusing on healthy relationships and just relationships that feel really good, whether you're parenting or whether you're a teen in some of your early relationships. Um, and then we also work through advocacy. So we know that some of those just bigger picture issues takes more collaboration between a lot of us, nonprofit network, and the community leaders, just to really make meaningful change happen, so that we can get to a rural valley where everyone can thrive.
Ah, thank you so much, Kelly. I really appreciate that and appreciate all the vital work that you're doing to make this a community where everyone belongs and everybody can feel safe and like a piece of our crowd. So it's a small
Mhm.
place, and bonding us together is vital work. So can you elaborate on what this looks like for Room One right now?
Sure. Yeah, well, I think like everyone, we've been living through a year and a half of the COVID crisis, and then, layering in the fire and smoke crises that our entire community experiences. Um, and so many people, whether they're directly impacted through lost work or displaced homes, um, or kind of we're all impacted in some way just by the overwhelming kind of stress of it all. And so our crew's just been there. I think we've seen more than double the usual number of community members like over the past year. Just the need is really high just for connection. I think the isolation that can come, whether it's through COVID precautions or canceled events, or
Yeah.
there's just a lot of disappointment and sadness around that. And so we're just here. We aspire to be a welcoming place that people can walk in and get a cup of coffee and just visit with us. And sometimes that just makes a difference, just knowing that you're not alone.
Yeah.
And then we're also super grateful that during COVID, with all the different restrictions that are there on gathering, like we've been able to keep our parenting groups going forward, and we've been able to keep our healthy relationship workshops going with
Yay.
some of the school age kids. And that just feels good. Like we know we can hear from those parents and those teens that like it's made such a difference just to work in a small cohort and
Yeah.
be able to teach each other like how they can be their strongest and best self. So it's just very cool.
Wow. I'm glad to hear it across the board and glad you've been able to maintain that closeness despite
Yeah,
the challenges that we've seen in the past year and a half. So
for sure.
thank you so much, Kelly. I really appreciate you sharing.
Yeah, thanks so much for your time.
Yep, you're welcome.